Good morning. All right, this morning I'm going to do some stretches, some exercises for fantastic feet. So this is a sort of a mini class that I've been teaching all week, and it has been needed, I think, and well received. So I've got a few little tools here with me today that make it easy to find at home. I have golf balls, but you could have any kind of little rubber balls or even a tennis ball. And then I've got some different sizes here. And so they're different sizes, and they are also different amount of malleability to them. So some are really hard, and then some are a little bit softer. And depending on your feet, you're going to find one that's kind of comfortable. Obviously, we're going to do a little myofascial release. So sometimes it's a little discomfort, but there shouldn't be a whole bunch of it. You shouldn't be aggravating your muscles and joints. So it's got to be something that you're comfortable to work with. The smaller it is, the more intense it is, as well as the harder it is, the more intense that's going to be. I also have paper towel. You could use a face cloth, a dish towel, whatever. We just have paper towels handy here in the studio. And I have a TheraBand, which you may or may not have. These are really inexpensive and just a great tool. So whether you are a fitness enthusiast or a dancer, or just an average person who would like their feet to feel better, these are wonderful exercises for that. We often don't appreciate how important foot structure is until there's an issue, until you've got bunions or fallen arches, or even you may not even notice that there's a problem with your feet. However, your knees start to bother you, or even your back. The feet are really the foundation that everything rises up from and is built on. So taking care of your feet, really important before there's a problem, but even if you've got some issues cropping up, these are great exercises. So the first thing I like to do in the workshop, and I'm gonna probably have to adjust this a little bit, is to, actually, now you can't see my feet. All right, there we go. Is to say, we're going to find out how flexible and malleable your feet are right now. And so what I want you to do is to stand on the floor and then just lift your heel up so all 5 toes stay on the ground, and then draw a little circle with your heel. And just notice how flexible that foot is. And what happens sometimes is that the toes will come off. So in other words, your foot's not very flexible, and when you start to roll that heel, you'll notice your toes come off the floor. So it's really important that you keep your toes right down on the floor as you do that. And this is kind of a test on both feet to see what the flexibility level is and how flexible they are. Then what we're going to do next is a little release, because I want to do this after you kind of test out your feet, just so you can see if there's improvement, which generally there is. So I've got a golf ball right here, and I'm actually going to put a little mat underneath it, because we have wood floors, and so we don't want it to slip and slide around too much. You can also put it on a yoga mat or whatever. Golf ball tends to be a little more slippery, so we're going to just place it right there in that mat. And you're going to take that golf ball, you're going to kind of put your foot on it, right underneath the knuckle of the big toe. So, actually, we're going to start on the outside edge. Excuse me. So we're going to start on the outside edge of the foot there, and just run that ball down towards the heel bone. And it's really light. So we're going to make 3 lines. The first line is going to be on that outside part of your foot. All right? We're going to do like 4 or 5 times, and then we're going to do from the center down to the heel bone, and then finally the medial part of your foot, or the inside of your arch. So we start from the pinky toe joint, and you're just going to kind of roll it down. You want to really put the pressure on the way towards your heel, and then just draw it back without any pressure if you can. Now if you do it the other way, that's all right. If you kind of roll it towards your toes as well with equal pressure, that's all right. But really, I want you to try to roll it from the toes to the heel with pressure, and then let it go. And you're not rolling like gangbusters. You're not like, every knot, you want to get trigger points. It's just really to get circulation and fluid going around that fascia. And then you're going to move to the center of the foot and do 3, 4, 5 little rolls from the knuckles down to the heel bone, okay? All the way down through the arch. Again, pressure from the toes to the heel as you go out, and then just drawing it back without pressure. And then finally, you're going to work that inside part of your instep of your arch from your big toe knuckle all the way down to that heel. And again, it's not really super hard. You are probably going to have some tender spots there. A lot of people do. But you're actually just going to go fairly moderate to light. Just get the circulation, get the movement going in there. When you finish with those 3 lines, running it 4 or 5 times, you're going to move to the knuckles of the toes, okay? So when you're going to put that ball right underneath the knuckle of the big toe. So you see the knuckle pop up. That's what you want to do. You want to see that joint sort of pop up. It's not a whole bunch of pressure. You can do this seated also, seated or standing. If you're doing it standing, you're not putting like the most pressure you can, but you're just giving it a little push, and you'll notice the muscles on either side of that knuckle kind of get a good stretch, and then you're going to move it over to the next toe, just like that, and keep working through from that big toe to the pinky toe, giving it a little bit of a stretch in between each metatarsal, and then do it one more time. So we go 2 times from the big toe out to that pinky toe, just like that. Great. And then do your other foot. Once again, you're going to work from that outside edge right down to the heel bone, just kind of working through. This is improving the circulation in the foot, restoring some fluid all the way through. Just think about your heart is pumping blood out to your extremities, and here we're kind of, the reason that I want you to go from the toes to the heel, it's sort of like pushing that fluid back towards the heart. It's a lot of different reasons. Sometimes people will do these and they will say, you know, it's sort of like my reflexology. So then from the middle of the foot, then you're going to work towards the instep of the foot from the big toe to the heel. Good. Just like that. And then going to the knuckles of the toes. So right, again, underneath the knuckle of that big toe, so you see that joint pop up. Give it a little stretch. This is my cranky foot here on this side. So it doesn't like to stretch as much, and it doesn't like to do what I tell it to do when we get to the exercises. But still important to work it every day. We can't be good at everything. So poor little right foot, right leg, not great at everything, but still working it evenly, trying to create some balance. So about 2 times through, spreading those metatarsals. And then, once you've done that flexibility routine, coming back to those little circles we did with the heel. So you're going to bring the foot up, so all the toes stay on the ground. The heel is popped up, and draw circles with your heel without moving your toes. And notice if there is more, and those circles are great. You can go like 5, 10 times each direction, moving all the joints around. And notice, generally the feet are a lot more flexible after we do that. So that's one set of exercises. So using the golf ball or a tennis ball, or even these little teeny tiny balls. Right here, I got these little ones here. These are, they're almost a little bigger than a marble. These can be really intense. I love this tool too. This is like a little dowel, and it's got some ribbing on it. You can use this as well. Again, just getting that circulation going through the foot. And again, try to go from your toes towards your heel on those. All right, so those are some exercises now to strengthen those feet. We've got some flexibility going on in there. Let's do some exercises to strengthen the feet. The first one is just a series of exercises with your toes. So we'll see how you do. Lift all your toes up off the ground and then place them back down. And again, lift all your toes up, and you'll notice if they all obey, you know, that's a good thing, and come back down. And now just lift your big toe off the floor and place it back down. Lift your big toe and place it back down. How about if you keep your big toe down and lift the 4 other toes? This becomes a little more difficult. And then bring them down again. I find that my left foot obeys and my right foot is doing crazy stuff here. But we're trying to work it and bring it back down. And then lift all your toes up and then go your big toe down and then let each toe sequentially fall to the pinky toe. And again, lift it up and go from your pinky toe to your big toe down. And again, lift it up and just keep reversing that. See if you can control each individual toe, pinky toe to the big toe. Very good. See if you can kind of use each and every toe independently there. And we've got just a couple more exercises. So I hope all these will be great and helpful for you, and use what you can. The next exercise we do with a cloth or a towel. You can do it again seated or standing. We're going to put that on the floor and just kind of put it right underneath the ball of your foot, and then take your toes and just drag that towards you. So when you use a paper towel, it doesn't really bunch up under your foot. Sometimes when you use a cloth, you'll get it to stick on the floor, and you just keep grabbing it with your toes, pulling it in towards your arch or your instep, and then reverse it and push that cloth away with your toes. Just push it away, and let's do the other foot. So these, again, wonderful for anyone. Dancers in particular will really benefit from these foot exercises. That's it. Keep grabbing it and pulling it underneath, and then pushing it away with the toes. Using your toes to really manually push that away. So that's a great one, working the arch of the foot. You can also take the smaller balls or marbles if you've got them, or even a pencil, I like that, and just use your toes to pick that up, place it back down. So the smaller the item, obviously, the more difficult it is for those toes to grab on and grab that item. Wonderful. All right, so a couple other things we've got to show you. One is the TheraBand. So Gnar Dancers use this in the studio, which is lovely. Wrapping sort of the whole ball of the foot. So the band stays really wide from the toes, and it kind of envelops your toes there to the arch. And then we hang on to this band, and then you can do it seated on the floor and push through to the toes and flex it back up. So you're getting a lot of good ankle strengthening work here. We do flexion and extension, pressing the toes away and bring it back up, and then doing big circles here. Big circles working, abduction, adduction of the foot, inversion, eversion, and reversing direction. These are lovely. My ankle's already getting tired. Work those muscles. Good. And let's do the other side. Because I want to be even today. And make sure it stays really kind of wide on your foot. Don't let the band kind of ball up in the arch of your foot. You don't really want to put a lot of pressure in the arch of that foot. It's really quite a vulnerable area right there. So we hang on to it, give it a little tension, foot is flexed, and then push out through that plantar flexion and come back into a dorsiflexion, or point and flex the foot, and then circle it around. So two populations I really work with a lot are dancers and older people. And both seem to have some issues with the feet. And it's really, really important to keep those feet nice and strong. So we got that, good. One tool that I use, we use it in our balance point bar classes as well as other classes, is called Footbar. So it's not the Footbar like your reformer, but I'm going to show you what we use. You can make this little beauty at home. It's so simple. It's just basically, you make it out of a 2x4. And it's about 12 inches long. And so we can, it's no higher than 2 inches. So you don't want to use a yoga block for this. Oftentimes I see people, you know, hanging their heels off a yoga block. That is too deep. That's too deep of a stretch. So we want it to be so that the metatarsals and the knuckles that we worked on are right on the top of that. And then we do our raises up and all the way down. It brings your foot into this deeper stretch, this deeper dorsiflexion. So it's not just rising up in an elevate or rising up here like a calf raise, but you're also getting that dorsiflexion, that stretch. So we're getting a nice range of motion. We can do it parallel. We can do it turned out. We have some various other ways that we use it, but you can do this. Sometimes people hang their heels off a step or off a staircase in their house. That might be a little too intense. Again, when my heels hang off of this bar, they are on the floor. They're on the floor, so there's support there, and you're not just dangling in the ligaments, which is super important, so don't just dangle. So that is our foot bar work, and I've got one more exercise for you to try. This is, I think this is super hard, but so feet, really, that big toe, once upon a time when you were a little child, it used to actually move sideways when you walked. You know, it grabbed the floor. And then we get older and we stuff our feet in shoes, and those toes kind of get pushed in, and they don't move independently anymore. So it's, somebody described like when you put your shoe on, it's like putting your foot in a cast. Like if you've got your arm in a cast, you can't work those muscles. So if your foot's in a cast, you can't work those muscles. So being barefoot is better. Love to be barefoot. But that toe abduction, when we take that big toe and we're able to actually move it to the side, we start to lose connection with it neuromuscularly, because we're not using our brain to control it to do that, but also muscularly. And we can get some of that back, hopefully. So again, this is my cranky foot, doesn't do what I tell it, and it's much more difficult on this side. This is my foot that does what I tell it. So what you do is you take your finger and you place it beside your big toe, and then take your big toe and try to push, I don't know if you can see that, push your finger away with the big toe. And it gets tired. It's like those teeny tiny muscles in there working. It's really hard. So then I try to do it on this side, but I'm working on it. Let's see if it's going to work this morning. Oh, teeny bit. Again, just take that big toe. So this is my big toe. Put your finger against it and try to push your finger away with your toe. Try that out. A little tough. So I hope you enjoyed this little teeny mini presentation of great exercises and stretches that you can do for your feet and your ankles. And have a fabulous day. And I look forward to bringing you more presentations.